Hello, welcome to my first Weiss Schwarz deck profile. I'll be doing it for the Capo 3 newspaper deck. I'm at work, so this profile might be a little half-assed. If it is, I'll just do another one when I get home. So let's get started. I'm gonna start off with the level 0s. I'm running 2 Rika, Girl in Love. That's it. When it gets front attack, you can pay 1 and send it to memory to bring out her level 1, the Rika official newspaper club president. And I'll show what that does in a minute. And 2 of these Charles. For each, if I have 2 or more newspaper characters, this gains 1,000 power. So it's just a generic beater if I have 2 or more of the newspaper characters on. Next, I run 3 of these Humano support. It gives 500 to front, and I can rest 2 of my characters and clock the top card of my deck to summon, not summon, but put this Tsundere Himeno from my waiting room onto any slot on my stage. This Himeno gains 1,000 power if I have 5 or more cards in my hand, and if I have 4 or less, then all my other characters gain 500 power. Next, I run 2 Himeno Brainstorm. It's a pretty generic brainstorm. Just pay 1 and rest it to mill 4, and for each climax milled, you can salvage a newspaper character. So in these 2 of these Owie. It's a level 0 4K beater. At the start of my climax step, I have to reveal the top card of my library, and if it's a climax, I have to send one of my other front row characters to the waiting room. So this is a pretty nice beater. Next up, run 2 of these Sarah. These are the same card, this one's just foil. This gives my front row center slot character 1,500 power. Yeah, that's pretty much all it does. I'm thinking of running 1 more because this does a lot of work. And lastly, I run 1 of these Good at Cooking Himeno. This one is a hand fixer. I can pay 1 and discard a climax to salvage a character from my waiting room. I just use this to discard my gates so I don't have to minus while playing them. Okay, moving on to level 1s, I use 4 Red String of Fate, Eureka. This card gains 500 power for each other newspaper character I control. Just use this as a beater, really. If I have a great field, this will usually come down as a 1-0 7,000, and that's pretty hard to say no to. So 4 of those. Next, I run 3 official newspaper club president Rika. Yeah, this one's 1/1 6,000. It has character encore, so it's kind of sustainable, and whenever one of my other newspaper characters attack, this gains 1,000 power. And this is the card that this pseudo changes into. So when they front attack this, I can pay 1 and send it to memory to bring this one out. Alright. So running 3 of these. Next, I run 3 of the Overspilling Feelings Rika. 1-0 4,500 power. When it comes into play, I give one of my newspaper characters, I believe. I think it can be any newspaper character, 2,000 power. I like this one a lot because it helps me get over their stuff very easily. Like for example, if I have this Rika in play and I play this and give this 2,000 power, then when this attacks, it'll be 10,000 power at level 1, which is kind of hard to, unless they have pretty big character out there already and some backup, it's definitely going to be running over anything at level 1. So, yep, I run 3 of those. And lastly, for level 1, I just run one 1500 backup. Thinking about changing it to a 2K since I don't use the bond target for this. Alright, moving on to level 2s. I play 3 Sarah. It is a 2/2 8000 that gains 1000 power and character encore if I have 2 or more other newspaper characters in play. This one's not really anything too special. It's just a big beater that's sustainable and will last me until at least level 3. I am thinking of changing this one to the 219K Sarah, just to save some stock. Yeah, so do those. Next, I run 2 Rika level support. It gives 500 times the level to everything in front, and when I place it from the hand to the stage, I can look at the top part of my library and leave it there or send it to the waiting room. It's got its uses. For example, if I find a climax and I can, if I have my Himeno in the back, I'll brainstorm for a 3+1 pretty much. But other than that, the top deck check doesn't do too much. Lets me hit 4 exact soul damage if I play this down late game, which is good. Next, I run 2 3.5K backups actually. When I play it, it gives 2,500 to one of my characters that are being front attacked, and then I can reveal the top card of my library. If it is a newspaper character, I give the battling character an extra 1,000 power. So it's a 3.5K backup. And this comes in a lot of handy, especially against things that come in early, like level 3 to level 2. So I like this one a lot. And lastly, for level 2, I run this Yuzu. It's like a level suicider of sorts. When this becomes reversed, if the character facing its level is higher than the opponent's level, then reverse that character as well. So I use this against stuff like Ultimate Madoka that comes out early, or anything like that, mainly. And this also is good against marker characters that get out of hand. Like if they have 3 or 4 markers on them, then they become pretty hard to stop, but I can run this into it and that'll just shut that down completely. So if I know they're not using any changes or any marker characters, I just toss this in a level zone. Alright, for level 3, I run one of these Sarah. This gains 1,000 power if I have 2 or more of the newspaper characters, and when I play it, I can search my deck for a newspaper character and add it to my hand. This one is just in here for me to have another beater at level 3, and the +1 is pretty nice as well. I can search for a heal, which is really good. Alright, I run one of these Rika. When it comes into play, it heals, and when it attacks, I can reveal the top card of my library. If it is a newspaper character, this gains 2,000 power. So I mainly run this because it heals, but this is also a beater just like the Sarah. With this card, whenever I use it, it never works. I always reveal a freaking climax, but normally it's gonna be 1,200 when it attacks, which helps a lot when you need to get over something. Lastly, for my characters, I play 4 Charles together as happiness. When this comes into play, it heals, which is always nice. And it has a climax combo with the 2K1. When I play it, I can pay 3 to give this and another one of my characters the ability when this character attacks, I can deal 1 damage to my opponent. And I pretty much use this to end the game. Ideally, like if I was having the most perfect game, I could drop 2 of these, play the climax, and pay 6 to give 2 of my characters burn 2 when they attack. And that pretty much spells defeat for your opponent if you can pull that off. But normally that won't happen. Normally I try and get it off at least once per game, because that free damage is pretty much what seals the deal, since power isn't my strong point in this deck. So I run 4 of these. Alright. For climaxes, I run 3 of the 2K run that combos with the Charles. So 2K1, I like these because when you play them, you don't minus. You get to draw a card. And extra power helps too. Just thinking about running 4, just because it's really important I get the climax off, the combo off. But I'm running 3 because I run 5 gates. Yeah, I just picked this one because it had Rika on it, and I love Rika, so it doesn't matter which one you use. I'm not using anything that combos with these. I just have them to help me keep advantage during the game. And yeah, so 5 gates, 3 2K1s, pretty simple. At level 0, it's not anything special. If you get this off, if you get this change off, you pretty much win level 0, because they're not taking that down. It has Encore and 6,000 power. It isn't going anywhere if it touches down before level 1. This Sarah does all the work in the world. That 1,500 power to the center slot is so good. So I'll try and keep this one out for a while. Try utilizing this combo a lot at level 0. The +1 is great because it lets you have an attacker out and maintain hand size. So, and it helps you get level 1 quicker, which is nice. So if I can get this going, I'll pretty much do this every turn until about halfway through level 1, just so I can build stock easy. At level 1, I aim to clear their field with my Rikas. You get a lot of power out of these, especially this one. This one gets really big. And it's sustainable, so I can just toss excess level 0s out if they kill it, which they probably will because it's only 6,000 on defense. And with this Sarah, this gets really big. So it will pretty much take out anything they have at level 1, sometimes at level 2. Usually, if they reverse it, when I become level 2, I'll let it go unless their stuff's just not that strong, because this can get over a lot of stuff at level 1 and sometimes at level 2. But normally I'll let it go at level 3. Level 2 isn't anything really spectacular. I'll normally have this out most of the time at level 2. That makes this a 10k beater with hand encore. It just swings for 2 every turn until they hit level 3. So I don't have any change or anything, just level 2. I don't know any series that have a really strong level 2. Mine certainly doesn't. Well, for newspaper anyway. For this one, I know the dual style, which I might do a profile on later, has a really strong level 2 game. So, yep, just these two, turn card sideways, etc. Hopefully cancel a lot of damage.